back in the shop. Well, the Pallet Princess violin is holding up pretty good. Had it upstairs and tuning it. The strings are stretching, but it stays in tune fairly well. Not great yet, but as the strings stretch, it'll stay in tune longer. But I think it sounds really good and looks good, and I'm giving it away, and I'm going to give it away Wednesday. So give you all a heads up, and I'll have all the names in a hat, and actually I'll number the names, and I haven't really compiled them all yet, so I can't tell you how many there are, but everybody gets one chance. And that submitted a request to be in the drawing, and I'll put them in the hat. I'll pull out that number, and then I'll match that number to the name that I give a number to, and that'll be the winner. And I'll announce the winner, and then they have to contact me through my email, and we'll make arrangements to get the violin to them. And if you're close enough, I'll drive it to you. If you're too far away, I'll mail it to you. So that's how that's going to work. So good luck to everybody on that. So that'll be Wednesday. Probably Wednesday evening I'll do it. And what else I have going on? And I can't tell you how much I appreciate everybody writing the comments and asking things and that. And I'm happy to share the knowledge I have. It isn't a whole lot, but I'll share what I have. And what I'm doing now, I'm making a cherry violin. And I've never made a cherry violin before. And the wood came from a friend who had some cherry trees that got knocked over in a storm, and he milled them, and he gave me some wood. And I've had the wood for a while. It's dry enough now that I can work with it. And what I've done so far, I've got my mold, and I put the blocks in the mold and added the ribs. I bent the ribs. I think most of you who have been following me have seen that. And if not, there's videos of me doing that, or I'll do a video on the next violin, how I do that. I've been toying how I'm going to do that. But the ribs are attached to the blocks, and they're around the mold, and that all seems to be working out real well. I have to add the linings, and those are thin strips of wood to go around the edge, and they're basically for strength and gluing surface. And after that, we'll pop the mold and attach it to the back. And what I did today is I took this mold and turned it over and put it on the piece of cherry that I had, and traced the outline. And I've shown you all how I've done that. But if I haven't, the next video you'll see how I do that. Probably to show you how I do that on the top. But I ended up cutting out the maple slab in the shape of a violin. And what I'm doing now is I have to make the purfling edge that goes around the violin for the purfling. And I'll end up with an edge that's 5 millimeters thick. And it'll come in not very far, maybe 10 millimeters, maybe a little more. And that's just a flat ledge, and then the curve starts going up to make the arching. And I do that several ways. And what I've been doing lately is I take it down with a gouge pretty close. I've been liking to use these little flex steel gouges. They're sharper and all get out, and they move wood a lot. And before I do that though, I have to have some way of stabilizing this blank. So what I do is I got this little rest or stabilizer. And I just screw it down like that, and moves around that way. When I can tell you one thing, this cherry's hard, really hard, but it'll come off pretty easy. I might have to use one of my bigger gouges. And we'll just and I have a block down there where I can hook onto the screw and tighten it so this doesn't move this way. But that is what I'm going to be doing today, or tonight, is basically bringing this down to maybe 6-7 millimeters. And then I have a tool I use, and I showed that in an earlier video, that I hook basically a Dremel tool to, and I can go around and make a real nice flat edge all the way around. It's quick, easy, and dead on accurate, and that makes it real nice. And then I'll start shaping the top. So that's all I got now, and I really appreciate all the subscribers, and if you haven't subscribe, I appreciate it. And you can watch me build a cherry violin. And if you have any questions at all about the build, ask them in the comments. I'll be glad to answer. And I have to remind you guys that I'm self-taught. I'm not a professional. This is a hobby, and I just enjoy it. And it's what I do now that I'm retired. I make violins, and it's a little different than building freezer buildings and food plants. So, but it's fun. And Wednesday we give away that violin, and good luck. So I'll see you guys on Wednesday.